there most certainly are times when we feel like that, when you say, I don't have any idea whatsoever of what I'm going to do to pull this out. Been in situations like that, where I had deadlines I had to meet. I didn't meet those deadlines, and I lost a car, lost a home, lights were cut off, telephone was cut off. All of those things are going to happen to you at different points in life. Now, the question is, what does it really mean? It really doesn't mean anything. It's not important at all. It's just a temporary inconvenience, because all of those things can be corrected. And it's a part of the process that we all go through. Now, the challenge is, in the midst of all of these things, is one, to stay focused on your goal, and two, to keep your expectations of making it happen, and keeping your energy positive, and relentlessly looking for ways in order to pull it out. And I guarantee you that there will be some intervention. What causes it? I don't know. That will seem like it's supernatural. Give you an example. I remember once when I lost my job, when I was fired out of broadcasting, September 18th, I'll never forget, 1978. I was behind in my house notes, and my house was up for foreclosure. I did everything I could. I had borrowed as much money as I could borrow. I had talked to family members and friends. I did everything I could, and I couldn't get enough money, being unemployed for several months, applying for job after job after job, and couldn't get a job. I couldn't get enough money to save the house. But I never felt, and this is very important, the feeling that I had, never felt that I was going to lose that house. I wanted that house. And so what I did was very uncanny. I released it. I did the best that I could. And at that time, with the limited money that I did have, I decided to take a trip with my family to Mamie to go down and spend time in the sun with my children. We caught a Greyhound bus from Columbus, Ohio, and we went to Florida. By the time I arrived on the day that the bank was to foreclose at 12 noon on the house, I got a call from one of my former assistants who went by the house and called me and said, Les, it's an emergency. Call Columbus right away. I did. And Carolyn Sloan said, Les, you won't believe this. You have a check from the Internal Revenue Service on your income tax. And it was enough to pay the house notes, and I had money over. I never received a refund prior to that time or since that time. And I did not lose the house. So there are things that we don't know or understand. But we do know that if we do certain things, that things begin to happen that's in our favor, that shows that the universe is on our side. Everything that we're seeking, I believe that if we begin to align our thoughts with action and be relentless, don't try 2 or 3 things or 15 or 20 things, but 100 things. 500 things if necessary, 10,000 things as Edison did if necessary, until we find a way out. Many of us, we eliminate many possibilities for ourselves because we really don't do all we can do. I think A.L. Williams was right when he said, all we can do is all we can do. And all we can do is enough. And I think, honestly speaking, even judging from myself, and I think that my commitment is stronger than most people. But if I had to literally measure my commitment in terms of what I put forth in my dream, I would say that I might have given about 18 to 20% of what I'm really capable of. As high in consciousness as I believe that I am, comparatively speaking, where I used to be, I'm still nowhere near reaching 50% of the commitment that I can make to accelerate the growth and the development of my dream and the manifestation of the things that I know within myself that I'm capable of producing. So our biggest challenge is beginning to look at within ourselves to remove those energy blocks, because if we are not producing the income that we want, let us not look outside of ourselves, but look within ourselves to find out, how am I blocking me? Am I really giving it all that I have? Am I really being as creative as I can be? Am I really unstoppable? Am I as relentless as I can be? Am I exhausting every means possible? Am I turning up every rock to find what it is that I'm looking for? That what resides between our ears, when we're thinking about how do I come up with $500, $1,200, or $2,000, is the same gray matter that resides between the ears of a Ross Perot or Donald Trump when his bankers say, you've got 30 days. How is it that one man or woman can do it and do 1,000,000 times more than these other people and the other ones don't? It has to be consciousness. It has to be, and when we talk about consciousness, we're talking about a collection of our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions and experiences used as an active force to produce in our lives that which we want to produce. Because everything that exists in life, the microphones that we're speaking in, the shoes that we have on our feet, the chairs that we're sitting in, the clothes that we're wearing, the homes that we live in, the cars that we drive, all of that came out of our consciousness. That all came out of the invisible into the visible. And man was a vehicle, the outlet to produce that. Wherever we are stopped in our dream, we stop at a place called willingness. Anybody that has fallen short of their goals, they ran into something that they were not willing to handle. Because in order to reach your dream, in order to make things happen, there must be a willingness to do what is required. If the need is to raise $2,000, and let's say you have a set of tapes for $40, are you willing to make 200 calls a day? Are you willing to stand on a corner and talk to people and say, listen, I've got a set of tapes here that can change your life? Are you willing to make the commitment that you will not go to sleep until you sell at least 10 tapes a day? Are you willing to say, if it takes me 12 hours walking and talking to people all day long until I find 10 people that will say yes, if I have to talk to 200 people or 300 people, that in order to provide food for my family, to provide shelter, to not to have creditors hounding me, am I willing to talk to 300 people a day? Am I willing to stand in an airport and sell tapes? Am I willing to go out and make calls again and again and again? Am I willing to knock on doors? Am I willing to do that? See, if we have some skill, some ability, some knowledge, or some product, then the only thing that's between us and what we want to generate is our willingness to expend the energy to produce the results that we want. Am I willing to wash cars? Am I willing to scrub floors? Am I willing to wash dishes? Am I willing to go out and speak or do seminars or workshops? What am I willing to do with my energy, my time, and my knowledge to produce the results? That's the bottom line. What are you willing to do? And what most people don't realize is they don't give up on their goals because it becomes insurmountable or it's impossible. Is that they just looked at what they wanted and they just decided within themselves, consciously or unconsciously, I'm not willing to produce this result. Are you willing to say that I need $2,000 between now and next week, and come hell or high water, I will produce that? That's the bottom line. Because the only thing that counts in life are results, not reasons of why you didn't do it, but results. That's the only thing that counts. And we are capable of producing results. That's it. That's the bottom line. Are you willing to honor your commitment to do that? What are you willing to do? How many floors are you willing to mop? How many shoes are you willing to shine? How many phone calls are you willing to make? How many sales are you willing to make? How many jobs are you willing to hold? How much service are you willing to provide? That most people don't keep their commitments. They are not willing to be a no matter what person. That I'm going to make this happen no matter what. Most people use escape routes for themselves. Most people have something that they could point to justify why they haven't produced the results. Some reason. Well, people weren't buying. Or the economy is soft. Somebody somewhere is buying. Somebody somewhere is spending some money. So as we begin to look at where we are, every time when I was working on developing my dream, and I knew that I had to do something, that I had to do it, I was always able to pull it out. Because I started thinking, if a Walt Disney can do it, if a John D. Rockefeller can do it, then I can do it. Am I to believe that they have some license of exclusivity on producing wealth or producing results that I don't have? I think that it was a key given to us. I was reading the book called Succeeding Against the Odds by John H. Johnson. Good book. He said, "For it is the most enduring element of our faith that I must conclude this speech by saying that men and women are limited not by the place of their birth, not by the color of their skin, but by the size of their hope." What is the size of your hope? As we begin to look at what it is we want to produce in our lives, I think another question could be asked, or to paraphrase what he said, what is the size of our commitment to make it happen? See, when you ask people to become a no matter what person, something inside of them begins to tremble because of the fact that we aren't accustomed to saying, I'm going to make this happen. Most people won't do that. Won't take that kind of stand and saying, I'm going to make this happen no matter what. Most people won't do that. That takes energy. That takes conviction. That takes a determination and a mindset. I'm going to do this. And I say that once you make the commitment, and that's what Goethe meant, and that whole piece that he says about commitment, he says, once you make a commitment, providence moves too. All kinds of things happen that never would have happened. A whole stream of things happen that you could never anticipate it. I know that. And I think that Longfellow was right, who said, if you go to the gate and you knock loud enough and long enough, somebody's going to answer.
Have you ever wondered why some people seem to build wealth effortlessly while others work tirelessly but still remain financially stuck? The truth is, the wealthy often follow a financial playbook that they rarely share, and today I'm going to reveal some of its most crucial elements. In this video, I'll expose the 10 worst financial assets that slowly drain your wealth, keeping you trapped in the rat race. These aren't just bad investments, they're wealth destroyers disguised as status symbols and achievements. Even Warren Buffett has confirmed the secret. Many wealthy individuals didn't build their fortunes by simply making more money. Instead, they focused on avoiding these wealth-killing purchases, which most people in the US make without a second thought. Each of these financial traps is part of a larger system designed to funnel your money into someone else's pockets. Stay tuned until the end, because the last trap is the most deceptive of all, and it might be sitting in your driveway right now. Let's begin by uncovering these financial time bombs that could be sabotaging your wealth. 1. New car is a depreciating investment. That new car smell might be tempting, but the moment you drive a new car off the dealership lot, it loses around 15% of its value. Think of it as throwing $6,000 out the window before you even get home. Over the first 5 years, a car can lose more than half its value. For instance, a $40,000 car might drop to under $20,000. And if you financed it, you're still paying based on the original price, often with interest that brings the total cost to $50,000 or more. Meanwhile, the wealthy avoid this trap. Warren Buffett, despite being a billionaire, drove a used Cadillac, understanding that cars are expenses, not investments. True wealth comes from owning assets that appreciate, not depreciate. Instead of buying new, consider looking for cars that are 2 to 3 years old with low mileage. A used Toyota Camry or Honda Accord often offers the same technology and experience as a new model, and you'll save $10,000 to $15,000 right off the bat. If you must buy new, consider the math that $40,000 invested in an S&P 500 index fund over 20 years could grow to over $186,000. Is that new car smell worth losing that potential growth? 2. Timeshares, a lifelong financial burden. Now let's talk about another wealth trap, timeshares. At first glance, they may seem like a smart investment in your future vacations, but in reality, they are often a financial nightmare. With an upfront payment of $20,000 or more and annual maintenance fees that can climb from $800 to $2,000 or more, a timeshare is a commitment that can last forever. And the worst part, it's nearly impossible to sell. Robert from Miami learned this the hard way when he tried to sell his Florida timeshare for $15,000, only to find no buyers despite having paid $30,000 for it just 5 years earlier. Meanwhile, financially savvy individuals simply book accommodations when they want to travel, enjoying the freedom to choose different destinations and avoid long-term commitments. Websites like Airbnb and Vrbo offer excellent options at a fraction of the ongoing cost of a timeshare. If you already own a timeshare and feel stuck, there are specialized companies that help exit these contracts, but be prepared to pay for this service. Prevention is always cheaper than the cure, so ask yourself, does this give me financial flexibility or lock me into an inflexible commitment? 3. Designer clothes and accessories, trading well for appearance next. Let's discuss a financial trap that has many people trading their future for a fleeting moment of admiration: designer clothes and accessories. Whether it's a $2,000 Louis Vuitton bag or a $10,000 Rolex watch, these luxury items may make you look wealthy. But the reality is that many people flaunting these status symbols are deep in debt. They're trading real wealth for a temporary illusion of prosperity. While people struggling financially show off the latest designer items, many real millionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett wear simple clothes and live modestly. These individuals understand that owning income-generating assets is far more important than appearing wealthy. The math is simple, that $500 pair of shoes could be invested in an ETF like VT, which would turn that amount into more than $20,000 over 20 years. This doesn't mean you should never buy high-quality items, but timing and proportion are key. The truly wealthy invest in assets first and only spend on luxuries once they've built a solid financial foundation. A good rule of thumb: if a luxury item costs more than 1% of your total net worth, it's probably too soon to buy it. If you love luxury brands, consider smarter alternatives like resale platforms such as The RealReal or Vestiaire Collective, which offer authentic designer items at a fraction of the price. Or try subscription services like Rent the Runway, which allow you to enjoy designer clothes without the long-term commitment. 4. Lottery and gambling. The tax on hope. Finally, let's talk about the financial trap that gives you nothing but false hope: lottery tickets and gambling. Known as the tax on hope, these activities primarily affect those who can least afford it. The odds of winning are shockingly low. You're more likely to be struck by lightning than to win the Powerball. To put it in perspective, you could fill Madison Square Garden with people and still have a better chance of picking one person to win than actually hitting the lottery. The average American spends around $400 a year on lottery tickets. While this might not seem like much, if that money were invested monthly in an index fund, though for 30 years, it could grow to more than $50,000. Sarah from Ohio discovered this after calculating that she had spent over $15,000 on tickets over 12 years, only to win a single prize of $50. The wealthy don't waste money on such long shots. Instead, they make calculated investments in businesses, real estate, and the stock market, where the odds of making money are far better. Real wealth comes from consistent, disciplined decisions, not relying on instant luck. If you feel the urge to gamble, create a separate play fund as part of your entertainment budget, capping it at 1 to 2% of your disposable income. This way you can indulge without jeopardizing your financial future. If you're finding these financial traps helpful, take a moment to type eye-opening in the comments below. It helps the YouTube algorithm and ensures I'm creating content that truly matters to you. Let's continue. Redirect that impulse by trying apps like Acorns or Robinhood, which make investing as accessible and engaging as gambling, but with far better long-term results. However, while gambling can harm your finances, at least it's a slow drain. Our fifth wealth destroyer works much faster. It's like a high-speed vacuum for your wallet, and nearly 40% of Americans are caught in its trap right now. 5. Credit card debt. Your biggest financial enemy might be that small piece of plastic in your pocket. With average interest rates around 20% annually, credit card debt, if not paid off in full, is like a black hole for your wealth, continually draining your future. The numbers are alarming. A $5,000 debt on your card, paying only the minimum, could take over 15 years to pay off and cost you more than $10,000 in interest. It's like paying double for everything. Dave from Boston learned this the hard way. His $7,000 debt on furniture and electronics ended up costing over $16,000 after years of paying just the minimum. The trick banks don't want you to know is that they love it when you pay only the minimum. In fact, that minimum payment is scientifically designed to keep you in debt as long as possible while they rake in interest. It's a perfect transfer of wealth from your future to bank shareholders. Financially intelligent people approach credit cards differently. They take advantage of benefits like air miles, cashback, and fraud protection, but they always pay the full balance every month. This turns a potential trap into a useful tool. Cards like Chase Freedom or Citi Double Cash offer 2% or more on all purchases, but only if you avoid paying any interest. Let me ask, did you already know about these financial traps we've covered, or has any of this been new to you? I'm curious. Drop a quick comment saying new or that's new to me. I read every comment, and it helps me create better content for you. If you're already in debt, there's a way out. Adopt the avalanche method. Focus on paying off the card with the highest interest rate first, while making minimum payments on the others. Once the first card is paid off, move that amount to the next, creating a snowball effect. Apps like undebt.it or Tiller Money can help organize the process and keep you motivated as you see progress. Now, while credit card debt might be obvious, our sixth wealth destroyer often looks like a path to success, a costly credential that many Americans continue to pay off long after they earn it. 6. Expensive and useless degrees. Go to college, get a good job. This advice has been passed down for generations, but it's becoming outdated. The average cost of a 4-year degree exceeds $100,000, and many students graduate with degrees that don't guarantee jobs, carrying debt that follows them for decades. The average student debt in the U.S. is $37,000, with many graduates owing over $100,000. The problem? In certain fields, starting salaries are so low that paying off this debt becomes nearly impossible. Jennifer, who graduated in visual arts with $60,000 in debt, took a job paying only $32,000 annually. After 5 years, she still owed more than when she graduated. The real issue isn't education itself, but the imbalance between cost and return. Financially savvy people analyze the return on investment, ROI, of any education. They ask, will this degree really increase my income? Is there a more affordable path to this career? Could I learn these skills more economically? Alternatives are growing rapidly, such as certification programs in IT, web development, or data analysis. These can cost less than $10,000 and lead to starting salaries of $60,000 or more. Community colleges offer the first 2 years of education at a fraction of the cost of traditional universities. Online platforms like Coursera, EDS, and LinkedIn Learning offer quality courses for hundreds, not thousands of dollars. Before committing to higher education, do your research. Sites like PayScale and the Bureau of Labor Statistics show average salaries by career and education level. Compare programs from different institutions and consider starting at a community college before transferring to a university. Scholarships, federal aid, and employer reimbursement programs can also significantly reduce costs. At least with education, you're investing in your own skills and potential. But our seventh wealth destroyer is far more baffling. 7. Boats and luxury items. Buying problems in the form of status boats, vacation homes, and other luxury items seems enticing, but these are financial black holes disguised as status symbols. There's an old joke in the nautical world: the two best days in a boat owner's life are the day they buy it and the day they sell it. Many people discover this financial truth too late. A $50,000 boat can easily cost another $5,000 to $10,000 annually in maintenance, insurance, storage, fuel, and repairs. The worst part: most boats sit idle over 90% of the time. Mike from Tampa bought his dream boat for $65,000, but after using it just 8 days a year, it ended up costing him nearly $2,000 per day of use. Meanwhile, financially savvy people rent luxury instead of buying it. Why spend $50,000 on a boat when you can rent one for $400, $600 per day when you actually want to use it? Apps like Get My Boat, Boat Setter, and Freedom Boat Club let you enjoy the experience without the financial burden of ownership. The math is stark. A $50,000 boat with $5,000 in annual maintenance costs over 10 years would cost $100,000. If that same amount were invested in an ETF with an 8% average annual return, it would grow to about $215,000 over the same period. The question is, are those few days on the lake worth $115,000 of your future? For those who truly love exclusive experiences, consider the 5% rule. If the annual maintenance cost of a luxury item exceeds 5% of your annual after-tax income, you probably can't afford it. If you really want those experiences, look into shared ownership or membership clubs that offer access without the full weight of ownership. Now, if buying expensive toys that lose value seems unwise, our eighth wealth destroyer is even more subtle. 8. Whole life insurance, marketed as both protection and investment. Whole life insurance often fails to deliver on both promises, all while making someone else very, very rich. Whole life insurance combines costly life insurance with a low-yield investment, creating a product that fails at both goals. The numbers don't lie. Whole life insurance can cost 5 to 10 times more than term life insurance for the same coverage. A 45-year-old man seeking $500,000 in coverage might pay $400 annually for a 20-year term policy, or $4,000 annually for whole life insurance. That's a $3,600 difference per year money that could be invested in higher return options. The investment component of whole life insurance is inefficient, with most premiums going to fees and commissions in the early years. After 10 years, you might have paid $40,000 in premiums to accumulate only $30,000 in value. James from Ohio experienced this when he tried to cash out his policy after 8 years, receiving less than he had paid in. Financially astute people use a far more efficient strategy: buy term life insurance and invest the difference. They purchase affordable term life insurance for protection during the years that matter most, when they have dependent children or a mortgage, and invest the savings in higher return vehicles like index funds, e.g. VD, VITI, VO, or tax advantage retirement accounts, 400, 1000, IRA. There are options available if you want to rethink your life insurance policy. You can consider a partial surrender, a policy loan, or a tax-free exchange under the 1035 rule for a more efficient policy or annuity. It's wise to consult a fee-only financial planner, someone who doesn't earn commissions and offers unbiased advice. We've discussed several costly financial mistakes, but our ninth wealth destroyer may be affecting you right now, possibly even in your pocket or purse. This recurring expense, driven by some of the most sophisticated marketing tactics, can quickly add up year after year. 9. Expensive gadgets and constant upgrades. The cycle of upgrading tech gadgets is relentless. For instance, That new iPhone looks tempting with its improved camera and slightly faster processor, but the reality is that the difference in user experience between consecutive models often doesn't justify the $1,000 price tag. Tech companies like Apple and Samsung have perfected the concept of perceived obsolescence. They don't need the old product to break, they just need you to think it's outdated. Switching to a new phone every year can cost over $12,000 in a decade. However, if you hold on to your phone for 3 to 4 years, you could save $6,000 to $8,000 during that time. Robert from Denver realized he spent more than $14,000 upgrading his iPhone in the past 10 years, money that, if invested in an index fund, could have grown to over $20,000. Financially savvy individuals follow a simple rule: use technology until it no longer meets their needs, not just because the next version is out. Warren Buffett, for instance, used the same flip phone for years while building a multi-billion-dollar empire. It's not about avoiding technology, but about using it strategically rather than emotionally. When it's time to upgrade, consider more affordable options. Previous models often come with 30 to 40% discounts when a new one is released, and certified refurbished devices offer similar warranties at a fraction of the price. For computers, a simple RAM or SSD upgrade can extend a device's life for just $100 to $200 rather than buying a brand new model for $1,500. Let me ask, did you already know about these financial traps, or has this been a surprise? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment saying "knew it" or "that's new to me." I read every comment, and it helps me create even better content for you. Now for our final wealth destroyer, one that might seem like the happiest purchase, but often leaves couples starting their lives together with a financial burden that lasts for years. 10. Expensive weddings. Your wedding day is a special moment, but it doesn't have to be a financial nightmare. The average cost of a wedding in the US exceeds $30,000, and many couples end up starting their marriage already burdened with debt. This social pressure to have a lavish ceremony comes from magazines, TV shows, and social media, all promoting the idea that a wedding needs to be grand to be meaningful. But studies show there's no correlation between the cost of the wedding and the happiness or longevity of the marriage. In fact, couples who spend less on their weddings tend to stay together longer. Jennifer and Michael from Boston opted for a simple $5,000 ceremony and used the $25,000 they saved as a down payment on their first home, which appreciated significantly in just 5 years. The real issue isn't about celebrating your love, it's about sacrificing your financial future for a single day. Those $30,000 spent on a wedding could grow to over $450,000 by age 65 if invested for retirement with an average annual return of 8%. Is it worth trading $500,000 of your future for flowers and a DJ for a few hours? Financially intelligent couples are rethinking what makes an unforgettable wedding. They focus on experience instead of extravagance and meaning over spectacle. Weekday ceremonies, non-traditional venues like parks or museums, digital invitations, and minimalist decorations can reduce costs by half while preserving the special moments. If you're planning a wedding, start by setting a maximum budget before researching anything. The golden rule: don't spend more than you can afford to pay in cash without affecting your long-term financial goals. Apps like Zola and WeddingWire offer free budgeting tools to help keep costs under control. On a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful has this information been in your financial journey? Let me know your rating in the comments. I'd love to hear which wealth traps you plan to tackle first. Remember, while many people are focused on buying the illusion of wealth, you now have the knowledge to build real wealth. Your future self is counting on you to make the right decision today.
Let's start with a truth that most people don't want to face. Your life is slipping away. The clock doesn't stop and the years don't wait. And if you keep doing what you've always done, you will keep living what you've always lived. And deep down, you know it hasn't been enough. You know there's more inside you than the life you've been settling for. And that gap between who you are right now and who you're capable of becoming, that gap is pain. That gap is regret waiting to happen. You've been carrying dreams in your chest that you haven't executed. You've been letting fear, excuses, and comfort lull you into playing small. But here's the truth. Comfort is costing you your future. If you keep waiting, if you keep hesitating, if you keep telling yourself someday, you will wake up one day and realize someday never came. This is your wake-up call. This is your interruption. In this space right here, right now, Tony Robbins' track is not entertainment. It's transformation. If you're here, it's because a part of you knows you're meant for more. And I promise you this, if you walk away now, if you click off, you will miss the very breakthrough that could rewrite the trajectory of your life. So here's what I want you to do before we even dive in. Drop a comment right now and write the words, "I refuse to stay the same." Lock it in. Declare it. That's your first act of rebellion against the life that's been holding you hostage. And now we move straight into the truth that will rip open the first door of your transformation. Motivation is a feeling. Consistency is an identity. Motivation is a feeling. Consistency is an identity. You've been addicted to motivation your whole life. You chase it like a junkie looking for his next fix. You scroll, you watch videos, you pump yourself up, and for a moment you feel unstoppable. And then it fades. The high is gone, and you're left with the same old reality, the same habits, the same weight, the same bank account, the same excuses. Why? Because motivation is a feeling, and feelings are fickle. Feelings change with the weather. One bad night of sleep, one argument, one doubt, and your motivation evaporates. But consistency is not about how you feel. It's about who you are. You don't need to feel like a parent to take care of your kids. You don't need to feel like a professional to show up at work. You don't need to feel like brushing your teeth to brush your damn teeth, because it's who you are. It's what you do. It's part of your identity. If you only act when you feel motivated, you are a slave. You're chained to emotion. But when you shift to consistency, when you decide this is me, this is non-negotiable, this is what I do whether I feel like it or not, you are free. That's when the game changes. That's when you stop needing to push yourself and you start being pulled by who you've become. Think about it. The soldier doesn't say, "I don't feel like protecting my country today." The surgeon doesn't say, "I don't feel like operating." The athlete doesn't say, "I don't feel like practicing." They do it because it's who they are. It's in their DNA. And when you install consistency into your identity, it becomes automatic. You don't negotiate with yourself. You don't wonder if you should. You just do. And here's the secret. Consistency creates motivation, not the other way around. You want the fire, you want the spark, you want to feel alive again. Don't wait for it. Generate it. And the way you generate it is by keeping the promises you make to yourself. You build momentum. You stack proof. You give yourself evidence that you're not the person you used to be. That's where real confidence comes from. Evidence, self-trust. The knowing, not the hoping, that you will do what you say you will do. Motivation is fleeting. Consistency is forever. You can lose motivation in a day, but when you own consistency, you own your destiny. And listen, every broken promise to yourself is self-betrayal. You know exactly what I'm talking about. How many times have you said, "This is it. This is the year. I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna launch that business. I'm gonna wake up early. I'm gonna change." You make the declaration. You feel the power of it for a moment. And then when it comes time to act, you hesitate. You delay. You quit. You break your own word. And in that moment, you don't just lose progress, you lose trust. Discipline is freedom disguised as effort. Most people don't get this. They think discipline is punishment. They think discipline is prison. They think discipline means giving up joy, giving up fun, giving up life. And because they see discipline as chains, they run from it. But let me tell you the truth. The real chains are on the people who avoid discipline. The real prison is living a life dictated by impulse, by distraction, by laziness. Look around. How many people do you know who are trapped in jobs they hate, bodies they despise, relationships that drain them, and yet they call discipline a prison? No, what's killing them isn't discipline. What's killing them is the lack of it. See, discipline is freedom disguised as effort. It's the price you pay up front to live without regrets. The effort feels heavy in the moment, but the freedom it buys lasts a lifetime. Waking up early when you don't feel like it, That's effort, but the freedom it buys is momentum. Hitting the gym when you'd rather stay in bed, that's effort, but the freedom it buys is health, energy, vitality. Saying no to the impulse, to the junk, to the easy option, that's effort. But the freedom it buys is power, the power to own your life instead of being owned by your urges. Here's the paradox. People think they're free when they say yes to every desire, every craving, every distraction. But that's not freedom, that's slavery. Slavery to comfort, slavery to addiction, slavery to the path of least resistance. And every time you bow down to it, you shrink. You surrender your future one small choice at a time. But discipline is different. Discipline is saying, I run me. My impulses don't run me. My distractions don't own me. My excuses don't command me. I am the master. I decide. That's not prison. That's power. That's freedom. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. Discipline is not natural. Discipline is forged. Discipline is forced. Discipline is trained like a muscle. And yes, it hurts at first. Yes, it feels like effort. But that effort, that pain, that's the price. That's the ticket to your freedom. And the people who avoid the price always end up paying a bigger one. The price of regret, the price of lost years, the price of unfulfilled potential. You want to be free, then embrace discipline. Love it. Chase it. Because it's the only doorway to a life on your terms. Comfort is the assassin of your future. If there is one force in this world that quietly, slowly, invisibly kills more dreams than anything else, it's not fear, it's not failure, it's comfort. Comfort doesn't come with alarms. It doesn't scream in your face. Comfort seduces you. Comfort whispers, you're fine. You've done enough. Take it easy. You deserve it. And while you're listening, while you're relaxing, while you're letting yourself off the hook, your future is being murdered in silence. Comfort is the slow drip of poison. You don't notice it at first. So how do you beat it? You declare war on it. You run toward discomfort every single day. You choose the harder path on purpose. You put yourself in situations that stretch you, scare you, demand more from you. Because growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Success lives on the other side of discomfort. Freedom lives on the other side of discomfort. You've been taught to seek comfort, to chase easy, to avoid pain. That programming is poison. Because the truth is, the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the amount of discomfort you are willing to embrace. Want an extraordinary life? Then you need to do extraordinary things. And extraordinary things never come from comfort zone. The greats, the ones you admire, the ones you look up to, they weren't lucky, they weren't chosen, they were willing to suffer, willing to push, willing to endure discomfort every single day until discomfort became normal, until discomfort became their advantage. If you want to kill your future, stay comfortable. But if you want to own your future, destroy comfort before it destroys you. Wake up earlier, train harder, risk rejection, stretch your limits, do the thing your mind resists. Live in discomfort until comfort feels like poison in your mouth. Because it is. Listen, your time is running out. You don't have decades to waste living half alive. You don't have years to keep negotiating with your excuses. Life is now. Your future is bleeding out every time you choose comfort. The assassin is in your house. And unless you fight back, you will lose everything. So stop hiding, stop waiting, stop surrendering to the lie of comfort. Choose discipline, choose discomfort, choose growth, because that's the only way you win. Discipline is freedom disguised as effort. Comfort is the assassin of your future. Put those two truths deep into your nervous system. Live them, breathe them, act on them, because your destiny depends on it. You don't need more time, you need more follow-through. Time is not your problem. Time has never been your problem. You get the same 24 hours as the billionaire, the Olympian, the visionary, the parent raising kids while building an empire. Stop lying to yourself that if you just had more hours in the day, you'd finally make your move. That's the story of people who die with their potential still locked inside. You don't need more time, you need more follow-through. Because here's the truth, you already know what to do. You don't need another book. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another strategy. The plan isn't missing. Your execution is. You don't suffer from lack of information. You suffer from lack of decision. Every day you delay. Every day you hesitate. Every day you break your own word. You are training your nervous system to tolerate mediocrity. People love to say, I'm busy. Busy is a drug. Busy is the excuse of the uncommitted. Busy is movement without progress, effort without results. Stop being busy and start being effective. And the only way to be effective is through ruthless follow-through. When you commit, you finish. When you start, you complete. When you speak it, you live it. No negotiation, no delay, no story. Do you want to know what kills dreams? It's not failure. It's not rejection. It's the slow poison of procrastination. It's the habit of starting and stopping. It's the disease of half-done projects, abandoned goals, promises you don't keep. That is what strangles potential. That is what keeps you average. Follow-through is to separate. Follow-through is the trait of leaders, of finishers, of warriors. Everyone starts. Few finish. Everyone dreams. Few execute. Everyone wants. Few commit. And the difference between those who live the life they imagine and those who don't is not time. It's follow-through. You don't need to change everything. You don't need to master the world. You need to follow through on the things you've already said matter. Imagine the force of your life if every single time you said, I'll do it, it got done. Imagine the momentum, the confidence, That's not fantasy. That's identity. You choose it. You live it. Stop asking for more hours. Stop waiting for the right moment. The right moment is when you follow through. That's when doors open. That's when momentum builds. That's when you transform. The world doesn't reward the one with the most ideas. It rewards the one with the most execution. So stop lying to yourself. You don't need more time. You need more follow-through. Decide now that when you commit, it is final. When you say it, it's done. And watch your life explode with power. Your results are the scoreboard of your consistency. Life does not care about your intentions. Life does not care about your excuses, your stories, your reasons why it hasn't worked out yet. The world doesn't pay you for effort. It doesn't reward you for trying. It measures you by results, and your results are the scoreboard of your consistency. Look at your body. That's not genetics. That's consistency. Look at your bank account. That's not luck. That's consistency. Look at your relationships, your career, your energy, all of it. The life you live right now is the direct reflection of what you've done repeatedly over time. Not once, not occasionally, not when you felt like it, but consistently. You can't escape this truth. You don't get the body of your dreams from one workout. You don't build wealth from one good week. You don't create a thriving marriage from one romantic gesture. Life is compounding. What you do daily, relentlessly, without excuse, that's what shows up. That's the scoreboard. And here's the part that should shake you awake. The scoreboard doesn't lie. You can tell yourself stories. You can justify, rationalize, explain. But the scoreboard is brutally honest. It reflects your standards, not your wishes. It reflects your habits, not your hopes. It reflects your consistency, not your potential. Stop getting mad at the scoreboard. If you don't like your results, don't curse the game. Change your play. Change your consistency. Stop dabbling. Stop starting and stopping. Stop living like effort every once in a while should deliver greatness. Greatness doesn't come from intensity once in a while. Greatness comes from consistency all the time. The truth is simple. Small disciplines, repeated daily, become massive results. Tiny compromises, repeated daily, become disaster. That's the law of life. You are either compounding power or compounding weakness every single day, and the scoreboard keeps track. So ask yourself, what is your scoreboard saying right now? Does it scream excellence? Does it reflect mastery? Does it tell the world you are relentless, unstoppable, consistent? Or does it expose your excuses, your inconsistency, your half-commitment? You can't fake consistency. You either show up or you don't. You either keep your word or you don't. You either build momentum or you kill it. And the scoreboard never lies. This is not about shame. This is about awakening. This is about looking reality in the face and making the decision that from this moment forward, your scoreboard will rise. Your results will reflect your true power. Your consistency will become non-negotiable. Stop worshiping intensity. Start worshiping consistency. Stop chasing bursts of effort. Start owning daily disciplines. Because life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you what you consistently demand of yourself. And the scoreboard tells the truth every time. Your results are the scoreboard of your consistency. And the only way to win is to own your consistency, like your life depends on it, because it does. Excuses are lies you sell yourself to stay small. Excuses are poison. They sound intelligent, they sound reasonable, they sound protective, but they are lies. Lies you've rehearsed so many times, you mistake them for truth. Lies you whisper to yourself to justify staying small, staying safe, staying average. I don't have the time. Lie. You have time for Netflix. You have time for scrolling. You have time for distractions that do nothing for your future. It's not time you lack. It's commitment. I don't have the money. Lie. You've wasted more money on impulse buys, on comfort, on temporary fixes than you care to admit. If it mattered enough, you'd find a way. You'd sell something. You'd sacrifice something. You'd invest in yourself because nothing pays higher dividends. I'm too tired. Too old. Too young. Too late. Lies. Every single one. Those are just costumes your fear wears to keep you in place. The truth is, you're scared of who you'd have to become if you stopped making excuses. Because if you dropped the stories, if you dropped the lies, you'd have to face the truth. You're capable of so much more, and that's terrifying, isn't it? Excuses are comfort for the mind. They let you off the hook. They let you feel okay about not showing up, not risking, not following through. But every time you let that excuse run your life, you are chiseling away at your soul. You are teaching yourself weakness. You are shrinking your identity into someone who settled. The most dangerous thing about excuses is they don't just keep you where you are, they pull you backwards. Because while you're soothing yourself with lies, life is moving forward without you. Someone else is taking action. Someone else is claiming the opportunity. Someone else is becoming the person you could have been. The only way you rise is to rip the mask off the excuses and call them what they are. Lies. Stop negotiating with them. Stop entertaining them. Stop dressing them up as reasons. Reasons create results. Excuses create regret. You want power? Then stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you can't when the truth is you won't. Stop saying you don't have when the truth is you haven't prioritized. Stop saying later when the truth is you're afraid right now. Own it. Face it. Kill it. The people who change their lives are not the ones with the best resources, the best timing, the perfect conditions. They're the ones who eliminate excuses. They take full responsibility. They burn the stories. They decide. Excuses are lies you sell yourself to stay small. And the day you stop buying them is the day you become unstoppable. Every rep, every choice, every day is a vote for who you become. You are not your dreams. You are not your intentions. You are not what you plan to do. You are what you repeatedly do. Every rep, every choice, every day is a vote for who you become. And the ballot box never closes. Think about it. When you hit the gym and push one more rep, you're not just building muscle, you're casting a vote for the identity of someone disciplined, someone relentless, someone who follows through. When you skip it, when you give in, when you break your word, you're casting a vote for the identity of someone who talks but doesn't live it. One choice, one vote. Every day, you're sculpting your future with invisible chisels called habits. Each decision is carving your identity in stone. You don't rise to your intentions. You sink to your patterns. And your patterns are just the accumulation of the votes you've cast, day after day, choice after choice. This is why people stay stuck. They think transformation happens in a big moment, a single breakthrough, a massive shift, but it's not the breakthrough alone. It's what you vote for every single day after the breakthrough. Your life is not determined by what you do once. It's determined by what you do always. And here's the power in that. You are always one choice away from shifting the election. You are never locked in. You can always cast a new vote. You can always decide that today, the ballot goes to discipline, to power, to resilience, to greatness, and enough of those votes repeated over time, they shift your entire identity. The tragedy, most people don't realize they're voting. They think skipping the workout doesn't matter. They think hitting snooze doesn't matter. They think procrastinating on that call doesn't matter. It matters. Every single choice matters. Because each one reinforces an identity, and that identity is building your destiny. Who do you want to become? That's the only question that matters. Because the answer isn't written in your vision board, your goals, or your journal. The answer is written in your daily votes. You can't say you want to be fit if your votes go to junk food and laziness. You can't say you want to be wealthy if your votes go to excuses and avoidance. You can't say you want to be powerful if your votes go to weakness. The ballot is in your hands every single day, every rep, every choice, every day. This is how you build a life. This is how you become unstoppable. Decide right now. From this moment forward, every action is a conscious vote for the person you're committed to becoming. Every rep, every choice, every day, you are casting your ballot. So vote like your future depends on it, because it does. Quitting is easy, but so is showing up. Choose which easy builds your life. Quitting is always there. It whispers, it seduces, it offers comfort dressed up as relief. Quitting says, you don't have to hurt anymore. You don't have to push anymore. Just stop. The truth is, quitting is easy, but so is showing up. Both are easy, and that's the trap. You think quitting saves you energy, but it doesn't. It drains your spirit. It robs you of self-respect. It leaves you with a hollow victory, the comfort of today traded for the regret of tomorrow. Quitting is easy, but the bill it hands you later is brutal. Showing up is also easy. Not running a marathon, just showing up. Not building Rome in a day, just laying the next brick, just making the next call, just writing the next page, just pushing the next rep. It doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require genius. It requires showing up. And if quitting compounds weakness, showing up compounds power. Every time you quit, you reinforce the identity of a quitter. Every time you show up, even when it's messy, even when it's ugly, even when it's far from perfect, you reinforce the identity of someone who is unstoppable. You're not building skill alone, you're building self-trust. And that is the foundation of everything. The world will give you 1,000 reasons to quit. Circumstances, setbacks, pain, fear, failure. But life only rewards one thing, the decision to show up no matter what. Not once, not twice, relentlessly. Think about this. Every great champion wanted to quit. Every entrepreneur on the edge of breakthrough wanted to quit. Every person who ever built something meaningful stared down the temptation of easy, but they chose the other easy. The easy of just showing up one more time, the easy of not quitting today. The difference between those who rise and those who disappear is not talent, not luck, not circumstances. It's this. They decided quitting would not be an option. They chose the easy that builds, not the easy that destroys. Quitting is easy. Showing up is easy. Which easy are you choosing? Because one makes your life smaller, the other makes your life unstoppable. Decide now. You will not quit. You will show up. You will choose the easy that builds your destiny. Force yourself to be consistent and watch the world bend to your will. Most people wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect mood, the right conditions, the spark of inspiration, and that's why they fail. Motivation is a luxury. Consistency is the requirement. Listen to me. Everything you've heard in this message is not theory. It's not hype. It's not philosophy. It's the roadmap of transformation. But a roadmap is useless if you refuse to move. The truth is, you already know what happens if you go back to your old patterns. More of the same, more excuses, more broken promises, more regret. And you and I both know that's death in slow motion. The part of you that's been hiding, the part of you that's been waiting for permission, the part of you that's been pretending you're not powerful, I'm calling that part out. This is your life. No more excuses, no more delay, only a decision to rise or to stay small. The choice is yours, but if you choose to rise, your future is waiting. This is Tony Robbins' track, and the next video you watch here may be the exact key you've been missing to unlock your breakthrough.